I don't know.
Now
There
we're
it is. Hello. Welcome to the RuCap with your host, me, Alex Ringler. There I am. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RuCap. And let's go around and say who we've got with us today. Thank you for watching on Facebook. If you have a comment or if you have a question for our panel or something you'd like us to review from the show this week, just go ahead and comment it and we'll see it and we will respond. Let's go around and say who you are, where you're from, and I don't know what you did on Inauguration Day. I'm from Arizona. Well, I'm usually New York. I'm calling from Arizona right now, visiting my family. And I watched and then I picked my boyfriend up from surgery. So that was my Inauguration Day. Garrett.
We decided to put on our sweatpants and wake up super early to catch all of the pre-ceremony, watch the entire thing, and just spent the whole day even doing the parade across America, which was amazing and so awesome to see some responsible adults doing some responsible things in this world.
Yay! Andrew!
I watched the swearing in, and then I just laid on the couch all day.
Nice. I think I watched J-Lo, and I think I stopped it like after the. Anyway, moving on. I forget when I stopped. Rug. Can you hear us?
Yes. What was the question?
What did you do on Inauguration Day?
Oh, hi, I'm Russ White. I'm the co-founder, co-producer of Q Life Media and the RuCap and a couple other things going on. What did I do on Inauguration Day? I watched the TV. I watched history in the making. It was an incredible day. And while getting our first female Black South Indian vice president was amazing and historic, this youth poet laureate blew me away completely.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Aaliyah.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Sky, and I'm calling in from LA. And on Inauguration Day, I sat at home and watched, and then I called all of my Republican family members in Texas, gloated, and just laughed until they hung up on me.
I refrained from doing that, but yeah, I have read some people online about math stuff recently. Check my story. Michael, go ahead.
Can you unmute my mic?
There it is.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michael Barbieri, calling in from New York City. Very, very cold New York City. And
And she's gone.
And that's what she did. She
So
just
cold, she froze.
left the house on Inauguration Day. Walter, what's up?
Hi, it's the dreaded and feared Walter Kurtz coming to you live from the house, from the chandelier, location of the chandelier. What did I do on Inauguration Day? I avoided it because I'm just overdosed on politics. I don't even remember what I did. I didn't watch any of it.
Understood. I try to not watch the news anymore myself. Okay, well, we had finally, for me anyway, kind of an interesting episode this week. We had an elimination, which is good, and we got the two groups together. What did we think of when we brought the groups together finally? And Elliot did. There they are. We had our, what they call the winners and the losers, or the A and the B, or what have you. I'm just glad they're all together now. And then Elliot hid in the way that kind of Miss Vanjie did when she came back. Totally not told by the producers to do that, I'm sure. I'm sure it was just she decided to do that along with the first girl. So that totally independent decision. What did we think of that reveal? To me, it was kind of like, okay, it's fine. It's kind of drama. I personally just like seeing the two people together. Aaliyah, what did you think of Elliot's little hidden situation?
Girl, I was like, go hide so you can see what they really feel about you. So, it's kind of nice. Good. That they said why they eliminated her in the first place. I don't think there were any surprises there. Did you, Aaliyah? I thought it was cute. Obviously, go hide, do your little moment, be cute and whatnot. But the real gookery is when she came out and all those girls were like cracked. Mm-hmm. Like face, look, unsuspecting drag queens.
And then her and Tamisha got into it, I think, wasn't it? I kind of know what that was for. But you have to have drama. You have to have some sort of thing. Garrett, what did you think about the whole hiding situation and then the confrontation?
Well, I feel like, okay, first of all, you're going to find out why they voted you off, and they really didn't have a reason. They said very much that, you know, it was like a silence, like, and because of that. Then Elliot walks out, right, and is confrontational, like, we have a lot of talking to do. And basically, I love the clap back by Tamisha that was just basically like, well, they didn't vote me off. They voted you off. Like, that's that.
And then, like, if you look back at that, you know, array of people back there, she was kind of wearing like a tracksuit and a short wig, and she already lost a lipstick. So it's like, ooh, if we have to vote someone off, like, I understand why too. Then we get to the main challenge of this week. The main challenge of the Hallmark Channel, which, you know, I watched my fair share of Hallmark Channel things this Christmas because they had a gay one on, and then like Lifetime had a gay one on too, and I was like, okay, so I'm actually watching these things. And, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we started to embrace making fun of the formula of Hallmark. I think it's hilarious that we're all doing that. Of course, RuPaul in the past Drag Race has, you know, suffered on the writing a little bit. Can we all agree that it's like, when we get a writing or acting challenge, we kind of just have to look past the writing of it? Can we all just shake our head in agreement of that, or does someone think it was like Sophocles out there this week, that there was something happening that was amazing? But that being said, then we get people like, for me, Simone, who can then take that and make it their own and really stand out. So to me, I liked Simone. She was in the Flags group, I believe. The God Loves Flags. There she is. There are those flaggots. And when that group came on and they were put together, I was like, that is going to be a strong group. So they were the standouts to me. Let's go around and say who you liked, who you thought maybe fell short, or if you had a favorite team over another. That was probably my favorite team, was the Flags group. I keep calling them the Flaggot group, and I know that's mean. Russ, who did you like this week in the Hallmark Channel challenge?
I think the which was the God Hates Flags, I think, was the best one.
We had Misery Loves Company.
Mm-hmm.
We had God Loves Flags and the April
Day. Yep. April Fool's Record, yeah. Yeah, I think they were the strongest. Andrew, did you have a favorite team or favorite group? I
agree. I think with your comment on the writing, though,
yeah,
I think it's intentionally bad. I don't think they're trying to write something good.
Yeah,
they want Simone's who can take it and really turn it to something. That's what they're looking for.
Okay,
that's why the writing is the way it is.
Right there.
And you know,
I could see them doing that on purpose. I feel you on that.
And RuPaul made that comment how they're all exactly the same. I mean, literally, they were all same plot, same line, just a different scenario. So I think they're really trying to see who could make it interesting, make it fun, like turn it up. Yeah.
True.
My favorites, though, were definitely Simone and Gottmik. I thought Gottmik was hilarious.
Gottmik did a good job. Yeah, she did. And like, I forget who said it. I think it was maybe either Joey or Elliot said she was giving Joan Cusack realness from Addams Family Values, one of my favorite characters ever. And I was like, yeah, kind of. So I enjoyed that. Garrett, did you have a top or a bottom of the main challenge this week?
I really thought, I don't remember the name of the character, but I know it's from Designing Women.
Julie Baker?
Yeah, and I think that Simone really got that character and like talked exactly like, that's the night that the lights went out in Georgia. I think that's like
factory. In the factory.
So I thought that was really good. I laughed quite a bit with just the I don't know why, because I know that not a lot of other people thought it was funny, but I liked the googly eyes that came down whenever the whoopee cushion character came out in April Fool's Rush In. I believe it was Candy Ears. Yeah, that came out as the whoopee cushion with like the eyes. I was laughing, but maybe other people were.
She's easily amused.
I liked Candy. I think she was just being Candy, which is like, that's what you have to bring to the challenge. To me, Candy's starting to give me Silky vibes, though. So I'm just like kind of, I'm just not a big fan of hers in general. So when she was on screen, I was already probably just kind of like pushing against her a little bit. But I get what you're saying there, Garrett. What are you saying?
And the share moment. Oh.
The share moment, yeah.
That's funny.
She ended up sounding a little like Santa Claus towards the end, though. She was like, ho, ho, ho. It was cute, though. I'm glad she got there when it seemed like in the workroom she might not get there. Walter, what did you think of the main challenge this week?
Do you really want to know?
Of course. That's why we saved you for last, baby.
Look, well, first of all, let me just do the positive. Simone was great, but not because of the material. It's what she did in between the lines that was great.
Totally.
And she's just got a talent. She's got charisma. She's just got it. And she somehow miraculously rose above that steaming pile of dog shit that they all had to read. Which, listen, it's there's stuff that can be written that's bad, that is incredibly clever and witty, and it's got a wink to it that it's so bad. That's not what this is. It is absolutely devoid of any semblance of humor or talent or inspiration or anything. And you're asking just a group of drag queens who aren't professional actors,
except for maybe one or two,
to try and make something out of something that Meryl Streep would be flailing with. And for Ru to sit there and just belly laugh during it, she's making a fool of herself. It was horrible.
I think what you're touching on is nuance. It's like there can be like bad writing with nuance, like in a way like a Charles Busch, like kind of is like, these were like terribly or like weirdly written things, let's make fun of them. And I think that's what they were trying to like do with those Hallmark scripts. I don't think they succeeded. However, like, and you're right, that really shows people who can't perform well, like Kimura, who just was like lost as the tree, number one, and number two happened to just not really understand how to act or be funny or anything like that. So yeah, there she is. Oh, so pretty.
Alex, again, I think that's the point. I think they do these, they're always early, the acting challenges, right? Is to weed out the ones who can't take this and make it into something. Doesn't have to be as good as Simone's necessarily, but
but can't the material actually be good that elevates the performers? Why do they have to give them something that is so bad?
That's the challenge.
Because then we as I can understand that, okay, that's the challenge for them as performers, but why do we have to sit in on this dramatic episiotomy? I don't want to watch that. I want to watch something clever and entertaining and not people just dying because the material is so bad.
Fort Walter just needs to change the channel.
Right. I think what you're saying is like it should be a challenge for the contestants, but not a challenge for us to watch.
Yes.
But also,
and but to that point, you put Kimura as a CGI tree, and wonder why she gets booted.
True,
but what was she given to do? Quite frankly,
it wasn't really a tree. Remember, it was
what? It wasn't a tree.
No, it wasn't the tree a prince. I don't remember.
I don't know. I like that everyone became a prince because it's Hallmark. But anyway, so we had some challenge. But I think you're right, Andrew. This weeds out people who really don't know how to bring out their personality through an acting challenge, and I think that's what we saw with people who struggled a little bit this time. Then we get to the runway where we had Trains for Days, which I thought was a great challenge. I don't know if we've seen that before on the runway.
No.
At least not like a full challenge of everyone has to wear a train. I thought everyone did very well. I think for me, yes, there she is, Simone. Simone was amazing. That was a really clever way of using the train, the do-rag as the train. Utica, like, that is so iconic that I thought even if she was in the bottom, that look would have saved her. And for Boots, for me, I gotta say Rosé. I love me some Rosé, but she also, last week, she gave us that kind of like ruffly silhouette around her body, which I don't think it's helping her. Like she's like, when I put on drag, I'm like a wider, like shouldered girl. And I need to know how to dress that. I know it might shock people.
Do you do drag?
at like once or twice.
Dresses like a woman for fun, girl. It's
Once or
not
twice.
real dress.
Once or twice every day I dress in drag. But anyway, so but you have to, like RuPaul is very much about, she said it before, and she instructs these girls on creating the hourglass. And that is really not helping her shape to just put ruffles on a suit. So to me, that was my boot. Let's go around and say some Toots and Boots. Garrett, what did you like this week? What did you hate this week on the runway?
My favorite was Simone, of course. But I think that's going to be like iconic. I think people will actually maybe do that on red carpets and things. I think that's going to make its way into mainstream culture.
Completely.
And then I actually also really thought that this one was funny because I did see that Carol Burnett like episode, and I thought that was really funny. So I like it when I get references because I'm not up to date with a lot of the things in the world. So I'm like, oh, I get that one.
Especially when they're from before you were born.
And then my boot, I probably thought that, honestly, I know it's beautiful. I just didn't think it was anything like super great. I didn't like that one.
Very tailored, very beautiful, not exciting, and not really nuanced.
Same thing as Elliot's, but in pink.
Exactly. Pantsuit with a train. It's like that could have been, and it really was, because we saw backstage Elliot took off the train and it was just a pantsuit. So it's like there's no nuance there with adding a train to a pantsuit. Andrew, what did you think?
Top obviously is Simone, but I also loved Olivia's. I thought that was
very pretty.
Her personality as a pianist and all of that. I thought she should have been in the top, honestly. And then boot, Candy wasn't great, and I agree with Rose. Just wasn't bad, just wasn't interesting.
Yeah, and when she said her hair had a train too, I expected her to turn around and the hair to be off the floor. It weren't. It was just a wig. I was like, "Hey, go."
That's just a mullet. That's just a regular mullet.
Regular mullet wig. We've seen that all the time. Rue's like mohawk thing had longer train, like from season 3, I think it was. Russ, go ahead.
Of course, I loved Utica. I know it's cliche and overdone a lot, but as far as looks goes, I don't know anyone that's put in as much detail into that look as Utica's. This is the first time I've liked one of Candy's outfits.
Really?
I really liked this look on her. Everything else hasn't had the refinement that I think this one does. I know it got some criticisms, but I really appreciated it.
I
Make you one for red dress next year, girl.
Aaliyah, let's talk about Toots and Boots from our fashion designer herself.
Well, I'm just going to start off by saying that the look that Utica did was actually like a Bob Mackie design as well for Carol Burnett. So I do find it interesting that we're seeing a lot of Bob Mackie on this season already, even though the Bob Mackie queen is now gone.
What?
So we'll see if any more of those come into play. I will say I did like Tamisha's, but her and Elliot's were the exact same look. And you'll have to keep in mind too, when these girls are given these challenges, right? They're given the list before the show starts, but they're only allowed 250 pounds worth of drag total combined. So when you give a girl a challenge like train for days, just imagine how much weight an actual train of that much fabric would really weigh.
Yeah.
So just to play devil's advocate, I will say for someone like Rose, where you're saying like, I agree, I wish her hair would have been longer as well. But I feel like when these girls are packing for the show, at some point you have to start sacrificing things and saying, okay, I did a train thing, but I can't afford the weight. So I'll have to like chop it down some. So I think what we're seeing is kind of a reflection of that. I think that's why you're also seeing a lot of like tool for volume and a lot of ruffles and stuff, because it's like high impact with less fabric to give you that same kind of impact. So I think what we're seeing in judging is not necessarily the best foot forward put by everybody, because I think there are limitations to what they're allowed to actually bring with them. So that's just my 2 cents on it as a designer, because I know like I have a garment for Train for Days that would have swallowed that entire runway stage. I know y'all have seen it. It's in black. I've worn it up and down the strip before. But even that is like, that's like 20 pounds worth of fabric.
Yeah.
So it's like even I wouldn't have been able to bring that for this challenge, because I mean, I'm not going to be wearing a bathing suit for another challenge, right? So I think we're just kind of seeing a reflection of what the girls are allowed and not allowed to bring, and I think that plays to just the budget of the show in general.
Completely, and that's really good. That's something to keep in mind, and some good insider information of like, you can't bring your entire closet with you, and they don't allow. Even if you could, they don't allow it anyway. I think that means some queens are going to start smuggling some of their jewelry inside of them so they can make more room to bring their shoes and they trains and stuff like that. Walter, what did you think of the runway this week?
Toots and Boots.
First of all, I feel like I'm channeling Jack Dorsey at the moment. Okay, I prepared. I made a list this time. Okay, here are my Toots and Boots. Denali, Toot, Kimora Hall, Big Toot. I thought that was spectacular. Simone,
Yeah,
I'll circle
I
back
agree.
on. Utica, Toot, Rose, Boot, Mick, Boot. I realized I didn't even write down Olivia, so I forgot about her. Tina Burner, Toot, Joy J, Boot, Tamisha, Boot, Candy Muse, Boot. Now, as for Simone, I will be slightly not cantankerous.
That was Simone. That was
God
Simone.
don't like ugly, girl.
Simone's been watching and she said, "Boo."
I do want to say while we're waiting for him to get back, I was reading Got Mixed posts about her look, and that was the look she actually packed for her sheer runway.
Here.
She didn't get to do because she was in the other group.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why she switched it. I don't know if she just liked that one better or really wanted to show the trans pride color outfit that she had. But
It could have been that. It could have been that she had a prop. I thought she should have used the prop a little more or better, but yeah. So Walter, Simone kicked you out before you could give her your.
I think Russ, that bitch, kicked me out. No, with Simone, I thought the idea was brilliant. I thought the execution was poor. I don't think it was elevated. It's like she was wearing some weird pants and like the thing was open. You could kind of see.
Oh, Simone is pissed today.
I do not like ugly girls.
Simone.
And that's one way of looking at it. I didn't think it was unelevated at all. I think the fact that it was the like do-rag with the train and then everything else I thought it was fit pretty well. I might have to go back and look and see if I can see any sort of things hanging out. But okay, we generally I think we heard most of it, Walter. So.
Yeah, it's okay. Go on.
Sorry.
Russ keeps cutting me out.
So okay, so then we get to our bottom two, and I don't think it was a surprise about Kimora. A little bit of surprise about Denali, just because she did have a whole lot to do in that. So I thought like her look on the runway and the fact that she was the lead in was the Valentine's one? Was it Misery? I thought that might have kept her in the top, and we might have had. I was maybe expecting a Joey J or an Elliot in the bottom, honestly, just because they seemed to kind of just flatline, and then I didn't really necessarily care for their looks on the runway as much. So, but then we also got a lip sync between them where Denali proved how much of force she is to reckon with when doing a lip sync, and so I think that's something to watch out. What did we think of the bottoms this week, and do we think there was a little adjustment that should have been made one way or another? Aaliyah, what did you think?
Yeah, I kind of agreed. I thought Joey J definitely deserved to be in the bottom because her performance was kind of a boot for me, and then notice how her name never got mentioned once while we were talking about the better looks until Walter said boot.
It was kind of cute, but
but other than that, I mean, I don't necessarily think Denali deserved to be in the bottom, but I think it was good that she was in the bottom because sometimes, as you've seen on previous seasons, sometimes you do kind of need that jolt at the start to kind of shake you out of it.
Yeah.
And anytime you're in the lip sync for your life and you don't go home, it's just a blessing in disguise. Really. So yeah, I would agree with it. I think it'll force Denali to kind of step her game up just to match the caliber of drag that she clearly brought for like this challenge. Because
those feathers were everything. Garrett, what did you think of the bottom two?
Well, I loved watching Denali perform, obviously, with like the almost like ballroom status, the little kiki round, doing flips, doing spins. And I kind of felt like Kimora, because I want to say Kimora, I don't know, she said that's because her outfit was heavy and that the dress was heavy and things like that. But I kind of felt like she just gave up, Like if you're going to be on that stage and you need to lip sync for your life, like you should lip sync for your life. How many
And
times?
you watch Untucked. It's not like she didn't think she was going to.
I know. She just like stood there and kind of lip synced, and it made it an easy win. Denali could have done a quarter of what she done and still won, but I love that she still gave it her all, and she danced around that stage and made the judges like get into it. I would have loved to watch that in real life, and I would probably have tipped a few dollars.
And I think it goes back to what Andrew says, like about it kind of weeds out the people who can perform and who can't. Lip syncs do that too, and I think we saw that with Kimura. Is that she's a beautiful, perfect looking queen. She's a look queen. She spends 5 hours on her makeup to perfect her look, even though the look looks very simple to me. But she takes her time to do that. When you focus so much on that aspect of drag, something else is going to suffer, and I think it's her performance quality. Andrew, what did you think of the bottom two?
I agree that Denali probably shouldn't have been there, but it was best that she was.
Yeah.
I really did think that outfit alone would save her, though, because it was so beautiful. I'm torn on Joey because I kind of think Joey deserved to be in the bottom two, but even though the execution wasn't great, I liked his concept for his outfit.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. And I'm shocked Elliot wasn't in the bottom. The acting was bad. The outfit wasn't bad, but nothing special.
It was meh. It was meh across the board. So it's like, to me, that's like either stay for like, I think if Elliot keeps serving us meh the way he is, then that's just going to be like, you're only stay for so long with meh. And then
you did notice that Joey J's outfit was like a pierced tongue, right?
Yeah. So that was at least clever. Yeah, completely. Russ,
you know what they say about girls that have pierced tongues?
They say that about boys who have pierced tongues too, according to Chris Rock. Russ White.
Not surprised that Kimura went home.
Yeah.
I did like the dragon shoulder pads.
It was beautiful. Beautiful dress. Yeah.
And what I've noticed in this conversation all week, as much of fanboys as we are in past weeks of Got Mick, nobody has said anything about Got Mick this week.
Someone liked her performance, I recall. I
liked her performance.
Yeah. And I thought her performance was fine. I thought she went a little over the top with it, but I think she was instructed to, and so boom. But you're right. Yeah, her look this week, to me, it makes sense that it was going to be used for the sheer one because I didn't really necessarily like it. So
and this was my first week where Rose wasn't my favorite.
Was it? Yeah.
And who was the other one? And Tina Burner has not been on anyone's Toots this week either.
Mm-hmm. I think she did well in the performance. I think she's an actress as well. I think in the same vein as Rose, and her outfit was cute. But when you have and with the long actual train conductor, it's a really.
I thought that was cute, actually.
I did really like her train though.
And very on brand for her, I think, that kind of kitschy, almost costumey quality that she has. But you're right, it was a week of we have these people up here who are doing this. So,
but it's just interesting that our favorites from the past 3 weeks haven't really been talked about this week.
Well, Drag Race keeps you guessing, don't it?
I forgot about Utica dressing up as the hippie flag loving. I actually really like that
was really cute.
And very Utica, very still on brand. And when she cracked RuPaul up in the workroom that bad, I was like, I want to see. I can't wait to see her Snatch Game. Actually, I hope she makes it as far as Snatch Game. Yes,
Have you ever smoked weed before?
Yeah, and that honestly, that was to me. I was like, that's the subtlety of the little moves you do. That's what Ru wanted. Yeah, that's what she wants, and that was fantastic. And Walter's out to tell us how he felt about the. Okay, she's back. What did you think of the bottom two and the lip sync this week? Quick, before you're included by Russ.
I'll do it quickly before it cuts me out again. I think they put Denali in the bottom two because they needed someone they knew would send Kimura home. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to play armchair psychiatrist with Kimura. I don't think Kimura's a drag queen. To use an old school term, I think she's a transvestite. She just likes wearing women's clothing. You look at the first challenge, which was the day and night. She didn't wear drag. She wore women's clothing.
And she wore the Bob Mackie gown.
Came out and did the first runway. She wore a woman's Bob Mackie gown.
Mhm.
She just likes wearing women's clothes. She's not a drag queen, so she's not a performer. It's a way for her, and good for her. I mean, who cares? But she's not a drag queen. She's transvestite.
Exactly. Not every model is a drag queen, you know, and like it's like you can be like a hanger that wears clothes and be beautiful and good at that, but that doesn't make it drag. So
isn't she also the one that said?
Yeah, she just uses it as a way to do it.
Yeah.
But isn't she also the one that said I auditioned like 4 weeks ago?
Oh, maybe. So maybe she hasn't had time to kind of develop her drag or her personality yet. And so maybe, I don't know if I want to see it, but maybe we'll see her like in a different way on an All Stars sometime or something.
I would love to see somebody from the Asian community be on the show that goes like further, kind of early on. I think there was only like one.
Oh, yeah, Manila.
Juju are the only two that are
Manila and Juju. Yeah. Yeah, so it's happened. Let's go, since we're running a little long here, kids. Who do we think, does this change your opinion of who's going to be on top towards the end? I think Simone's going to be hard to beat. Utica is still a challenger up there, I think. And I know we didn't talk about her this week, but Tina is a force to be reckoned with. So those are probably my top three. What do you think, Russ?
Utica, Tina. I'm not a fan of Simone.
No.
After this look, I could see Denali going a little bit further.
Okay.
And I still have hope for Rose.
Rose. Hey. Like the drink.
Wine, not a flower.
I don't like Rose either.
Garrett, what do you think?
I'm based on energy. Utica even said it. She's like, I give a warm energy and somebody else gives a cold energy. Mm-hmm. So I think Utica does give that fun, loving energy. I think Tamisha, even though I don't know in this competition, I always have a respect for somebody who's like a mother of the community and like offers that type of role in our community. I think it's really important. So there's a part of me that's rooting for Tamisha for that reason. And then I also really do like watching Tina Burner perform, the outfits. I like a campy queen, I guess, is the theme of my choices.
Love it. Andrew, what do you think? Top three.
Mine really hasn't changed. My top two are still Olivia and Simone. I think it's amazing. Utica is climbing up my list, though. She was a little lower at first, but she's proving herself episode by episode.
Nice. I like Olivia. To me, she's not really standing out yet, but we have a lot more weeks, and she's giving, so far she's doing well. So I want to see more out of her. Aaliyah, what do you think? Top three?
I actually agree with Andrew. I think it's going to end up being I think it'll be Simone, Olivia, probably Utica. Mm-hmm. And then I'll throw Tamisha in there as like the top four. Because I agree with you as well, Alex. I could see how you would want to bring that kind of like kind-hearted spirit. It's like Bianca on her season. She was amazing. Everyone thought she was a bitch, but secretly she was actually a really kind person. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll play to Tamisha's favor.
And I think with Tamisha, she's also she is that drag mother, that kind of older, wiser character. But she'll also snap back at a bitch, as we saw with Elliot. She's like, "Don't."
That's a good story. They've set it up really well.
Chihuahuas around, you're gonna come for the pit bull.
Exactly. So it's she's motherly, and she'll lend you a hand, but only so far, I think. So
you don't last 30 years doing drag if you can't defend yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, she had cancer, so she's a fighter. I think she's gonna fight along with.
And kids. She had to take care of kids, actual kids. That to me, I'm like, oh, you actually had to do that. If Walter's not back in 3, 2, 1, I might have to just move on.
Back.
She's back. Yes, she is. Quickly, top 3.
I'm here. Fine. Utica, Simone, Tina, go.
Utica, Simone, Tina. All right. So that's
Utica, Simone, and Tina.
Great. Then we've got, we still got a lot of weeks to go, kids, and it could be anyone's game still, except for Sebby Kimura's. I don't know. You think they're going to bring her back? Anyway. Thanks for watching the RuCap, everyone. Thanks for tuning in live. We'll be live at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Until next week. Bye.
Bye.